Hey guys, two things for you today. Coming up in September, there's the Fan X convention in Salt Lake City, Utah. Trent, myself, maybe some of the other cast members will be there volunteering as DMs, and people can sign up to do one-shots there. We also will have some flyers at a table at the Wizards Bazaar. They're being so gracious letting us doing that, so we wanted to give them a shout out here in our episodes. They're doing amazing things, advocating for things like anti-bullying and some other stuff. Secondly, these episodes, not very high quality. The last miniseries, by the end of it, we were in a new space, thought we could stay there, but we couldn't, so we went back to my back room. So not very high quality. Hopefully it gets better as this second miniseries goes along. This miniseries was so much fun for us to record. It's so different from what we normally do. It has some darker themes, some sketchier characters. We hope you guys enjoy. We really did. Thanks for listening.
Hello, and welcome to Channel Divinity, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. I'm Trent, I'll be the DM for this homebrew campaign. This is once again going to be a little mini-series. Shouldn't be quite as many episodes as the last one we did. This mini-series is taking place, a little background, it's taking place around 1,200 years after the last mini-series. This is taking place in the Age of Inquisition, when magic in the world is severely limited. And we're going to pick up right there with my first description. We start off the scene at sunset. A low mist is beginning to settle in, caking the ground with dew, causing the dirt to dampen slightly. The evening is quiet and peaceful, until the sound of people sprinting comes into our ears. There's 5 people, to be precise, and from far off, these 5 people all look the same. They're all wearing big black trench coats with a gray star sewn into the front left breast pocket. But as we zoom in, we see some stark differences. The one in the front of the pack has his sleeves torn off. And Gordon, describe your character.
I am a human barbarian. I am around 6 foot, bald, slight facial hair, and I have a scar on my left cheek. I am ripped muscly, using that to show my arms. That's why I don't have sleeves, and just letting the coattails of the trench coat billow behind me.
And what are you wearing underneath the trench coat?
No shirt, just tan pants and boots, and then khakis, yeah. And then I have my great axe strapped to the back part of my belt.
Cool. Following close behind Gordon, and what was your character's name?
Bridger.
Following close behind Bridger is a man in full plate mail. He has long black hair pulled into a warrior's wolf tail in the back. He has a scar on his face. Despite his armor and the massive sword on his back, he's not that far behind Bridger. You would know this man as Asakura, one of your fellow elite trainees. And right next to him is another person wearing big armor. Dean, go ahead and describe your character.
All right, I play Malcom. He is a blue tiefling. His horns and eyes are both like a bright orange color, and the way his horns are they crest. They come out of like kind of the front of his forehead, and then they wrap tightly down the top, and then once they reach like the back of the head, they like jut outwards. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Into like a sharp point. He is not actually that tall. He is like only like 5'10", but he's a pretty stocky boy wearing chainmail armor. His chainmail is black. It is under. He kind of has put his like good chunks of the chainmail is over his cloak, so like his cloak is sticking out of his chainmail shirt. He has a large battle axe strapped to his back, and on his chest you see some kind of something was there on his chest, but has since been basically like banged out or scratched out. Like there was some kind of symbol there that he didn't want there anymore.
Cool. Mystery for later. Following right behind him is a woman wearing some studded leather armor, has a long bow on over her shoulder, and is a elf. She has shoulder-length red hair and is completely covered in freckles. And you know this woman as Abina, another one of your elite trainees. And finally, following probably a good 10-15 feet behind the central pack is David. David, go ahead and describe your character.
Hey, deep gnomes have a speed of 30 feet, I'll have you know.
You've been running for a long time.
Oh, no. My strength is an 8, so... all right, my name's David, and I am playing Leon Dehart. He is a deep gnome, like I said, and he is a divination wizard. What he looks like, he's got like a ruddyish auburn hair. Like it's definitely auburn, but it's like red enough that he's the kind of person who would go up to an actual red hair and say, "Hey, I also have red hair." And then he's a deep gnome, so he has grayish skin. His eyes are a emerald green color. And what he's wearing, he's got your typical gray robe with the symbols etched into the front of it. And underneath he's wearing a pair of nice looking clothes, robes almost. I mean, he's wearing trousers, and it's almost like a petticoat. The colors of it are it's a dark gray, but there's like paisley designs in it that are a very, very muted red and purple in color. He's got a pocket watch as well with a dull metal chain hanging out of one of the pockets, and a dagger on his belt. He's got a large ring on his finger as well with his Dehart family symbol on it, and that's his arcane focus.
Cool. These 5 are the elite class in the training center for the Inquisitors, and they are doing the required 5-mile run to wrap up their evening. This is the same run that they do every day, and as you all crest the hill to approach the training center, you are greeted with a familiar sight. A massive mansion comprised of a central building several stories high with 2 wings that come off to the north and south, several floors shorter. Massive stone walls surround the facility with a black iron gate and black iron spikes coming out of the stone wall. This black iron gate is the only entrance. And as you run down this hill towards the entrance, I need everyone to roll an athletics check for me.
Ho ho ho.
Starting off with some athletics.
So I rolled a 6 minus 1, so that's a 5.
I am proficient, but I didn't need it because natural 20.
Woo!
First roll of the night.
Dang, starting off hot.
Got a 9.
Okay. As you run down the hill, Bridger.
Wait, what did you roll? Do you have a high strength, or are you a dex barb?
No, I'm a constitution bard.
Oh.
But I rolled a 6, so my +3 didn't do too much.
Yeah, you are running down that hill, and as you run down that hill, you just slow down so you can control your speed, especially on like the slick grass. And right behind you, and someone that runs ahead of you, is both Asakura and Malcom. Malcom clearly in the lead. In fact, Malcom not only is running, he has stopped running.
Ha, you losers! You don't know how to win. I'll show you what true strength is.
And he is sliding on the wet grass on his feet and keeping perfect balance. And right as he hits the bottom of the hill, he continues into a run. And he is now well ahead of the pack.
I'll catch up to you. And I probably trip and start to just roll down the hill.
Okay.
Shut up, nerd. You definitely can't beat me.
All right. And with this interaction, you all make it to the front of the gate. And as you make it to the front of the gate, you see a man standing there. You recognize him as the High Inquisitor, Nazshan. He's wearing the same black cloak, trench coat as everyone else, but everything else he is wearing is black as well. Underneath this trench coat is a type of armor that almost looks like chitness, like a bug shell, and it almost looks connected to him. It doesn't look like there's any separation, and this armor is covering every inch of his skin below the neck. And the only skin you actually can see on his body is above the neck and below the nose, because above the nose he's wearing a mask, just a top face mask, very similar, made of a very similar material as that black chitness armor that he has. But this black chitness armor is also very metallic looking. You can see beneath this black mask, he has green snake eyes and several scales that are speckling his cheeks. As you walk up, a snake's tongue flickers out of his mouth, and he looks at Malcom and says, "Well done, Malcom. You see, you came first this time."
Is this guy is the mask like Mr. Incredible kind of thing?
Bigger. Like bigger.
Like
it
a
covers,
masquerade mask? Like it goes over the top of his head?
It goes over, all of his forehead is covered, and everything level with the bridge of his nose, the tip of his nose is where the mask ends, and everything to the right and left of that, all the way to the ears, is covered.
So almost like a Zorro mask, where it
Yes.
covers all the way above.
Like a Zorro mask,
But it
except it
doesn't
does
go over
not.
his hair
It does
and
not
stuff.
go over
Does
his
not
hair.
go over his
It does not go over his hair, and it
It's
is not.
chitinous too, like the armor.
Yes, it's chitinous too. It is not like leather or cloth that's close to his face. It is off of his face. It looks like armor almost.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna win.
Sure you did.
You're back there. I won already.
Well, next time I'll probably beat you.
Yeah, right. In your dreams, nerd.
He turns and looks at you and goes, "Leon." That's not his voice. "Leon, I saw that you slipped and fell down the hill again.
That grass is slippery.
You need to continue to improve your balance."
You know, I'm one of those. I'm more of a. Okay.
Yeah, this is the same conversation you've had with him several times. Despite you being a wizard, he's determined to make sure you are in top physical condition. And he looks at you all, and he...
You nerd. You'll never be as good as me. Someday I'll be the High Inquisitor.
At that...
I actually have a fair dexterity, just not a strength.
Okay. At that, Nazshan turns and looks at you, and he smiles, actually, and the snake tongue flickers out of his mouth, and he goes, "We shall see if you ever can beat me, but the odds are not in your favor." And with that, he turns, and his cloak billows out behind him, and he puts his hand on the black gate, and he just shoves it, and it opens wide open, and he says, "Welcome back to your final day as trainees." And then he walks through the gate.
Does he have that magical item, like the Cape of Epicness, that
It's-
billows randomly whenever
Unfortunately,
you
no.
want it to?
He is a High Inquisitor, so he has no magical items.
Oh, I see. He just
he
is.
just is epic.
Is this? Would we call this guy Captain?
You would call him High Inquisitor.
Oh, he is the High Inquisitor.
He is the High Inquisitor. You would call him High Inquisitor, or you would call him Nazshan. He doesn't go by anything else.
Say that again. Nazshan.
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 And then the other guys that are with us are
Asakuro and Abina.
Asakuro and Abina.
Yeah.
So are we training them or are they training us?
You are... Oh, it'll get revealed, but you are all in an elite squad. You five are in the elite squad of the trainees. Many trainees come, and you would all know this, many trainees come in to be Inquisitors, normally in big groups of around 500 for the beginning class. But over the course of 5 years, pretty much everyone dies or quits, most of them being that they die. And you five also came in a group of 500 4 years ago, and you are now down to just you five. So you know each other decently well, And you would also know that today is your last day as trainees, and that tomorrow you will be taking the test to become full-fledged Inquisitors and do your first mission. And as you walk in through this gate to follow Nazshan behind, first you look out into the courtyard and you see the courtyard is completely shaded. It is almost like light is not allowed here. There is still the sun in the sky as it is setting, and there should be light here with just some shadows, but there is like no light. It is like this entire place is covered in something that is blocking the light. And as you walk through that gate, you see what it is. And you remember, because you've lived here for the past 4 years. As you walk through this gate, you see the awe-inspiring sight of a massive tree that is sticking up in the back of this mansion. This tree is at least 50 feet tall and has a thick canopy that covers the entire grounds of this mansion. And this tree also has 2 different types of flowers growing on it. One is a big flower with dark gray petals. The other one are these very, very small flowers, smaller than the palm of your hand, that are glowing green. And as you look up at this canopy, the glowing green flowers almost look like fireflies. But as a burst of wind blows, several of these flowers fall off and they whirl past you out the gate. But the moment they leave the gate, they disappear, as if they cannot leave the premises of this mansion. And you could not see this tree, despite its size, outside of the walls. And you would know that this is a special feature of this tree. And as you walk in, you continue to follow Nazshan into the central building of the mansion. You walk past several large groups of trainees doing practice sword swings or doing push-ups as they wrap up their training for the day. And as you walk past them, several of them look up at you in admiration, and they point and they go, "Look, it's the elite class. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance. I know I can."
I scoff.
So does keep forgetting his name, Asakuro. He also scoffs, and he looks at you and he gives you a fist bump, actually, as he's like, half of them will never make it.
I fist bump him back and I say, yeah, definitely going to be in their dreams.
Well, hopefully more of them make it the next roundabout, though.
They're all gonna die.
Well, I hope not.
Abin says, "No, they won't all die. They'll be fine. Most of them, at least." And she kind of like twitches a little bit and then keeps walking with you.
I pat the side of her leg. Pat the side of her leg just to comfort her.
As you touch her leg, she slaps your hand away full force, and then she looks at you with like evil eyes and is like, "Don't touch me, magic user," and keeps like storming away from you.
Okay, David did not know she hated magic, but I've lived with her for 5 years.
Yes.
So
yeah,
my guy most likely would not have done that.
Yeah, you would know you have a tense relationship with her for sure, because she hates everything to do with magic.
Okay.
Does she hate me?
Yeah. The only one she doesn't hate here is actually Asakuro.
What about the barbarian?
You'll find out.
You do. Your character knows, but you will
Wild
find out.
magic barbarian, Gordon?
It's because she's your ex, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Awkward. All right. As you continue to walk in, Nazshan turns and looks at you and says, "The rest of the time is yours for the day. Remember, tomorrow early morning, you need to come to my office. Also," he turns and looks at you, Leon, says, "A letter came in for you today. Actually, a letter came in for all 3 of you today, each one individually." And he hands each of you a letter, and then he says, "I have no idea how they knew where this training center was, and I trust that you did not tell anyone. However, the letter still came, and the messenger is dead." And he turns and walks away.
We've been here the whole time. Who sent us mail?
Who's the letter?
I turn it over, yeah.
Like addressed from?
Yes, actually. David, on your letter, it says from Vera. Gordon, on your letter, it says from the Mountainsbanes. And Dean, on your letter, it just says, your once good friend.
I don't have any friends. I don't need anyone to rise to the top. And I burn it.
How old are you?
I'm like 24.
How old are you inside your head?
I'll give you one guess who my character inspiration is.
I don't
I don't know. I feel like he's someone from an anime, though, for sure.
Probably. It's not like Zuko, is it?
Bakugo.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
I actually do burn the letter.
Okay, you burn the letter?
Yeah.
It's fireproof. It can't burn.
Trent's like, he can't do that.
No,
This is
no,
important.
actually-
Fireproof.
Actually, no, it's fireproof for a reason. And the moment it's fireproof, the writing actually on the front of it shifts slowly, magically shifts slowly. And nobody else sees this, but you see it, and it just says, stop it. Just read this, stupid.
You think you're smarter than me, you stupid letter? And I throw it on the ground. I start hitting it with my axe.
It doesn't break.
I'm just going to walk away in disgust from this childish thing. And I'm going to go over to where the weights are and find a bench and sit down and open up the letter.
You all do have your own little cubicle room.
Okay, that's what I
So
was
you
gonna ask.
can go to there, but you know your rooms are highly sparse. Like, they are cubicles. They are a bed, and that's pretty much it.
I'm going to retreat to my room then to read mine.
Okay. Gordon?
Yeah, I'm going to the weight room to
Bridger?
sit on
I
a.
definitely didn't forget your name.
So Bridger's going over and
To the weight room?
on like a weight room bench.
Okay. And all right, we'll do Bridger first, because he probably would have gotten to the weight room bench first. Bridger, you open up this letter, and as you open it up, you pull it out to read it, and you see that it is written. Actually, there are two letters written in this one letter. The first one is in ridiculously fancy cursive scrawl. It is impeccable. And it is almost so impeccable it is difficult to read from how fancy it is. And you can recognize this as your father's handwriting.
Classic.
Do you read it?
Yeah.
I don't have every word for word written down for this.
No, that's fair.
But basically the gist of it is like, don't dishonor our family. You know, you got to keep doing this so you can help your brother who's going to be better than you and succeed you.
I get like halfway down the letter and I get to like the first two sentences where it starts going into like how great my brother is, and I just kind of like fold it up and put it back in the letter, and I take out the other one.
Okay, this other one is written in chicken scratch. This is bad handwriting. And you instantly recognize this as your brother's handwriting. As you start reading,
Do I know his writing style? Like, would I
Yes.
recognize that
Yes,
he would
you-
be very cocky, or is he more?
you know you are very close with your brother.
Okay, then I'm gonna read the whole thing.
Okay, so this letter basically is like, hey, brother, I love you, man. I know you're doing this for me so that I can use magic and so I can get that permit that I need so I'm not illegal. Please don't give up on me. I'm going to keep studying here, and I'm going to try to keep Dad off your back because I know he's the worst. And I promise I'll reforge our family. We'll be a magic-using family. That way, not only can I use my magic, but you don't need to be ashamed of yours.
I kind of like fold it up and smile to myself. And I take the other letter and I kind of just crumple it up, put it in my back pocket. And then the other one, I kind of stuff in the front pocket of the trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go and start lifting weights.
Cool. All right, we're going to go over to Leon.
All right. I open the letter.
Okay, you open your letter, and the top of it says, Dear Leon, this is Vera, your sister. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. I have no idea what your sister sounds like. She's probably Irish.
She now sounds like that.
She definitely sounds Irish or Scottish or whatever, but it's like a very light, much more elegant.
This is Vera, your sister. Nope, that
That
Oh,
works.
was?
Yeah, no, that
okay,
works.
this is Vera, your sister. I found ya. I don't know why you thought you could hide and run away, especially since you know that I could find you with just a simple locate person spell. Come back. Why are you doing this? You know, we are not on good terms with the Order of Xandros. My sister is going Venus. madness is overcoming her. There are several like scribbles over stuff. She is determined to fight against the Order of Xandros. This voice is merged into Nas.
Just keep going with it.
Do a British one if you have to, if that's easier.
I'm just gonna do regular.
Do it.
This voice is you're just reading it anyways.
Yeah.
She is determined to destroy the Order of Xandros by any means necessary. She has begun doing drastic experiments using magic again. We can hide her for now, but if the Inquisition finds out, she will be killed. This is already her second warning, and our family can't protect her again. Come back, please. We need your help.
So
Your loving sister.
at this point, I would like to leave the one shot. I'm actually seriously contemplating what my character would do.
Well, I guess you could be Asakura.
Actually seriously.
Find a reason that he stays.
Yeah,
then.
I know. First thing, he's just gonna say to himself, "Oh, Venus, you always were crazy." And could I have told if the letter was opened beforehand?
It was not. It was sealed. Well, you can roll something if you want, but obviously it wasn't.
Okay, that I could tell.
That you could tell
And
it wasn't.
it's opened now, so
Yeah.
Then right away after doing that, I'm going to. I assume I maybe have some a candle in the room or something like that.
Sure.
I'm gonna take whatever the tinder box for lighting that candle. I'm going to burn that letter immediately.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna move over to Malcolm. Malcolm, what are you doing?
Okay, so Malcolm, he once he gets tired of swinging his axe into the paper on the ground, he is going to just literally just sit on the ground because he really doesn't care what people think about him,
Yeah.
and he is going to look at the letter. Are there more words on it?
Yeah, the words shift again, and they say, it says sigh on it. And it says, I knew you wouldn't open this. That's why I programmed this letter to just show up the words when you look at it. Because I know you're such an idiot. That's why you left me in the first place. And then those words, after they see that you recognize them, slowly fade off the letter. And then again, more words appear.
I'm going to throw the letter. I'm just going to throw it away.
Okay. You go throw it away.
I mean, okay, I'll be looking at it. So if there's a first part, but I'm heading towards the nearest trash can.
The first part appears and says, I still don't understand why you left. You were one of the best. Now your power is rotten. It's murky. Come back. Let me burn you clean. And that's the last line you see before you throw it in the trash.
Okay, yeah, it's in the trash. Do I know who it is?
Oh yeah, you for sure know who this is. I mean, I don't know. Does your
Is
character?
it my patron?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assumed that was. I assumed that was kind of obvious.
Yeah. I figured I didn't know if there was someone I worked for or something like that.
No, this is.
Okay.
You most definitely recognize who this is.
Okay.
Yeah. With that,
Oh, y'all received letters from your families. I got a letter from a god.
And you did what with it?
threw it away.
So I don't think that's a really bragging point.
So he throws it into the garbage can. He goes, I don't need her anymore. And he just storms off.
As you storm off, the garbage can explodes with fire. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Dang it.
Whoever this is wanted you to burn, man.
It's a saving throw?
Yeah, dexterity saving throw.
I have a -1 to dexterity, but I rolled a 15, so that's a 14.
Okay, 14 succeeds. It's not a high DC.
Whoa, I saw those. I shouldn't be looking over your screen.
I'm gonna roll it again just in case I see.
That is nuts. What?
Oh my goodness! That's 4 6s in a row.
Wow.
It's maximum. It was only 3d6 damage in the first place, so that fourth one was just.
So do I take half?
Yeah, you do take half. You succeeded. So that's
if
9.
I filled that
9
right
fire.
there, I would be almost dead.
That's 9 fire damage as this fire damage just explodes against you. And as a tiefling, are you resistant to fire damage?
I am.
Okay, so that's half of a half. So that's only 4. You're welcome. I'm not going to do that again. You got to remember on your own. Okay.
Awesome. I keep walking.
Okay, you keep walking, and as
Actually, if it explodes, if you'll let me, I don't even move because it just tickles.
okay.
And he doesn't even look back at the explosion.
Okay, you don't even move the
Yeah.
explosion behind you. I'm sure it looks epic. One of the greenie trainees is walking past, and he's like, "Whoa!" And then he just keeps walking. You just stand there.
No, I'm walking back to my bed.
Okay, you walk back to your bed.
I'm just gonna lay down and fume.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
We're actually gonna wrap up and have everyone go to bed, unless anyone wants to do something tonight. Especially since you normally are waking up very early, so it's the whole early to bed, early to rise thing.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna finish up my weight training workout and then head back to bed.
What's your max rep?
My max rep is usually 250.
250?
Yeah.
You might tell
And then
I
I switch
don't
hands.
work out because I don't think Gordon does either.
No, we got 250 reps and then 250 reps. You said reps. Yeah, you said
I was
reps.
thinking like squatting.
No.
Chest pressing. I was like, 250 's okay.
No, it's like
on one arm.
on one arm. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
actually, 250 is kind of impressive.
In my room, I am also lifting weights.
But they're 5-pound.
No, they're 2.5 pounds. you got to move the decimal over a few places.
Okay. All right. If no one else has anything to do, then we're gonna have everyone go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone goes to bed, and you wake up early in the morning. At this point, your bodies are trained to wake up at like 5:30 exactly. Because at the beginning of your training, when you got here 4 years ago, if you did not wake up at 5:30, you were woken up abruptly with a knife to the side. So you very quickly learned to wake up on time or even earlier, or you would not have survived too long. So your bodies all wake you up at 5:30 and you get up, get dressed, get all spruced up, put on your cloaks again, and you walk out. And unless anyone else wants to do anything in this morning, they can just go to Nazshan's office as he requested you all to go in the morning.
Yeah, I would just... Malcolm would just head straight there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go there.
You all go to Nazshan's office, and as you open the door is actually already open, and you see inside is already Asakura and Dabina waiting, and Nazshan is sitting there at a desk. He's just got like the pyramid of power with his, I don't know if everyone knows that, like the fingers all touched together on the desk. And he's just waiting for you all to walk in. And once you all walk in, he says, "Close the door behind you." And someone closes the door.
I'll close the door.
Okay.
I definitely don't. I definitely go straight to a seat and I just kick back.
Okay. He sees you do that, and he just like nods his head and looks at you and says, "This is a dangerous game you are playing, boy." And you know that he has a certain threshold, and once you pass that threshold, he beats you mercilessly. And so you've been beaten mercilessly several times.
Yeah.
And you can see that this threshold is early in the morning, so this is not too high up that threshold yet. But he turns to the rest of you and says, "Please, sit down, everyone." And as you all sit down, he looks contemplatively at the 5 of you and says, "5. The 5 of you are some of the best Inquisitors I have ever trained. And you are also the largest group of Inquisitors to ever pass at once. Normally we have a final group of 2 or 3.
Wow, the Inquisitors are just population control.
No.
Wow.
And then as he looks at you, he says, "But only the strongest, the firmest in their beliefs make it to the end, as you all have. Do you all know why the Inquisitor symbol is a gray star?" Probably not. He's not expecting a response, and you know he kind of monologues sometimes. Probably not. The day magic entered the world, over 500 years ago, at the end of the God War, a new star appeared in the sky. Brilliant, white, burning. But now, it is grey. It is dying. We, as the Inquisitors, protect that star. That is why our symbol is a grey star. That is why we wear it on our chest every day. That is why the Inquisitors exist in the first place. That is why you have trained here for the last 4 years. As he says this, he whips his arm out, and a black scythe comes out of his arm, like the chitinous armor, like almost symbiote style, like pulls off of his arm into this massive black scythe, and he slams it on the ground with a firm thud.
I didn't know we were playing with Blue Beetle.
Yes. He slams it on the ground, and he looks at you all, and he says, "Are you ready to do whatever it takes to protect the Grey Star?"
Yes, sir.
Bring it on, as long as it makes me the best.
I just kind of nod.
Asakura also just nods slowly, but Abina is like muttering to herself under her breath. She's just like, if only that star went out all the way, I think magic would be gone all the way.
I step away from her.
I think that would be the best. Magic was already gone. But as he slams the staff down again, she immediately straightens her back and looks front forward and says, yes, sir. I will protect the Grey Star. And he says, good. With this, you shall all go through the test to be Inquisitors. Starting with the beginning of your first mission. We have in our dungeon beneath the basement a man who must be interrogated. Your first test is to interrogate him. Information you are looking for is where the golden elephant is. As you know, Acheta, goddess of this island, has been gone for 500 years, since the end of the God War. And her children, the golden demigods, are still here on the island. Each of them bonded, soul bonded, to a man or woman from the island of Acheta. We have kidnapped the soul bond of the golden elephant. And it is your job to figure out where that elephant is, so that we may be able to kill it. The higher-ups believe that as they are demigods, they hold vast reservoirs of magic inside, same as the gods. And they hope that if we manage to kill a demigod, we may be able to slow the dying of the Grey Star. The elephant has been decided to be the first to fall, as it is the largest and easiest to find.
We're on a cheddar, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, show me where this nerd is so we can get going.
He is in the dungeon. You all know the way. Go and do what you must. Learn the information you need.
When he says go, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to start walking towards the door to open it.
He nods at your forwardness. And as you go, he says one last thing, and he says, and whatever you do, don't fail. They will be forced to have no graduates this year.
Okay,
Don't walk in front of me, and I try and push past him.
All right.
I, as a player, have two questions.
Kind of left the door open
Okay.
for you.
Do I have a permit to use magic?
As a Inquisitor in training, yes, you do. But
Okay.
only up to the 3rd level.
Okay, that's all I have anyway.
I know. That's
then-
why you have that permit.
Yeah. Then Dean, you're a paladin, right?
Yes.
Have we seen you cast spells before?
Yeah, I mean, do I have a permit?
You don't need one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Paladins don't need permits.
Do you have the Bane spell?
No, but I have Zone of Truth.
Okay, we are actually.
I do want to ask, what are the other two of our comrades' kind of specialities? Because we got magic, we have muscle, we have kind of
Divine
rage.
muscle.
Yeah, more defined muscle.
I'm not a barbarian, but
Also
We'll
Kura.
like switch moods when I actually rage.
yeah.
You get super like calm and just like okay, and then just
Asakura would be a fighter.
okay.
He uses a big odachi on his back to fight.
Nice.
And Abina is more of a ranger. She uses a bow, but she does not use any magic. They're not actually a fighter and a ranger. They don't have classes. They're not player characters. But if you had to categorize them somewhere, they would be a fighter.
She's a
and
bow
ranger.
user.
She's a bow user. So
Okay.
that is where we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this bonus episode of Channel Divinity. Once again, I'm Trent. Going around the table, we have...
David.
Dean.
Gordon.
Go around one more time and say your character names.
I'm playing Leon.
And I play Malcom.
Bridger.
All right. One last thing before we wrap up that I forgot to say. We have a Gmail. That Gmail is channeldivinitypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and tell your friends.
Yeah, word of mouth is the best way to spread anything. So if you have a friend that likes D&D, tell them about us. And if you have a friend that doesn't like D&D but might like D&D, tell them about us. And hopefully they like D&D after they listen to us. Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's all for this episode. Once again, thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.
Adios and vamonos.
Keep tuning in.